Welcome to the consumers. My name's Greg Warren. We're going to do another episode right here on Nateland. Sean O'Brien's in the house.
Gregory.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good. How are we doing?
I'm good. Fairly certain that is my hat.
Probably is.
Yeah.
I did steal it from the studio.
Okay. Tim?
Stealing. All right.
Fairly certain that is not my hat.
This is not your hat. It's the St. Louis Blues hat.
Yeah.
Hockey season's here. Very exciting.
Preseason hockey season's here, right?
Mm.
We start already?
So by the time this thing's out,
By the time this thing's out,
come on, Greg.
that's an accurate statement.
Get your TV
I
IQ
am
up.
wrong. Sorry about that, buddy.
It's all right. Go Blues.
Dude, hockey turnaround is so fast. I feel like...
Oh, the off season is short.
just-
You mean?
Yeah. I feel like playoffs, Stanley Cup was like a month ago. It wasn't, but just feels like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Comes quick. I'm excited though.
Did you get that T-shirt on your last trip home, Sean?
This is, I got this, I think at the airport. I'm a big airport shirt guy.
In your hometown.
Yeah. You know what? They're actually, I don't know. I'm not saying all airports, but airport merch is reasonably priced.
Are you out of your mind?
Yes.
That's the most insane statement I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Okay. Are you?
You know
Let
where
it
I like
out.
to do most of my grocery shopping?
Airport.
Hotel gift shops.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Dinner at the ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're two for like $25.
Well, then there's something special going on.
And then the hoodies are also like almost like the same price, like
He
two
loves-
for 25. So.
He likes to get a hoodie from every airport gift
I
shop
know. I collect the hoodies from
that
the
just
airport.
say the city on there.
I respect it. They're, yeah.
I
don't-
mean, it's I just like I like doing it.
Maybe the generic, like, hey, this is just the city, that stuff that you can find some deals. But I would argue that even a Walgreens is going to have less expensive, similar stuff.
I understand. I understand why you would think that way, because then you get a bottle of water that's $9.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But I'm telling you, the shirts, in my experience, are priced pretty fairly.
Team specific things. You know, you can get a bunch of Cardinal stuff at the St. Louis airport. That stuff is outrageous.
Outrageous. The sports stuff, outrageous. But
Yeah.
if it's just the city, it doesn't seem to be like they're robbing, the bank on it. So
Okay.
Yeah, I just noticed this Cheesecake Factory sweatshirt that Aletha was kind enough to give us. It's got a little thing on the sleeve. What is that?
It's awesome. It looks like, Sean, well, you were in the business.
what is that? The BK crown that got ran over or something?
It looks like, is it a table with some produce on it?
I think it's a table with some cheesecake stuff on it. I'm not sure.
That's cool. I like it.
Oh, you know
I
what
like
it is?
that
It's a
flavor.
piece. It's the strawberry cheesecake.
He's right.
Exactly what it is.
It's strawberry
Oh,
cheesecake.
good call.
It's
Which
a
is
piece of
their
cheesecake.
number one seller.
Yes.
This guy.
There you go.
Sean is on it. Guy didn't work there for nothing.
Great looking sweatshirt.
Guy didn't get fired from there for nothing.
Oh man, I learned some.
Thanks.
things,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Got this from Aletha.
It's really cool. You got to wear that on stage. I'm serious.
Wear this on stage?
Yes.
It will never happen.
I know, but he
But-
should.
Sure.
I sweat a little bit if I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm not sure I want to wear a sweatshirt.
Too
on
warm
stage.
for you.
I respect that.
I've worn a hoodie on stage before, though, I think.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Sean.
Greg,
I'm here. Did we talk about that yet?
did we mention?
Oh,
did we
did
say
I
hi?
say that
Did we
Tim
even
was
bring
here?
Tim into the
I don't
show?
remember, but
Yeah.
is it okay?
Does
if I'm-
anybody care?
Is it okay if I'm on today's?
I don't care.
I mean,
I do
this is
today's
kind of an
episode.
episode wrapped around him.
Yeah,
he should
let's,
be the
let's
star.
be honest, man. We're going to get plenty of Tim in this
A lot of
episode.
Tim.
Yeah.
I'm not a lot of us.
I'm already self-conscious about
No,
it,
buddy,
guys.
I love it. I didn't even know till 5 minutes ago. This is
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
No.
This is great, and people
I
are
didn't
going to
want
be
to. I
pumped.
didn't want to let you know because I didn't think you'd be behind it.
I'm 100% defined.
Nice.
In fact,
Tim forced a brand on us this week, and Sean and I are just going to pretty much. It's Tim's episode. We're going to probably you just probably check out.
no way, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm a big
just
fan.
go direct to camera. And Tim and Sean and I'll be back for comments. No. I
not
had
gonna be mean.
I had a thing, man. You know, I got the TV. You kind of encouraged me to get a good TV.
Yeah, you got the OLED, man.
OLED.
The big money TV.
Yeah, it's broken.
What?
Yeah, doesn't work.
What do you mean?
It's dead.
Man,
Nothing.
I'm telling you, I have heard the downfall of these OLEDs. Now, let me be very specific. There's QLEDs, which aren't as nice of a picture. Suppose it's not as bright or something, one of those. And then the OLED, which is more money, but they say if they go, it's kind of like the plasmas, when the plasmas went, you were
Sayonara.
yeah. And you've had the TV 3 months.
I've had it less than a
5?
year. Less than a
Okay.
year.
So what's going on?
It's OLED, not Oleg. That's a Russian gangster, I think.
Ole Miss. Yeah, OLED versus QLED. OLED is expensive.
Oh, I wasn't talking, Randy. I was just making a joke. It was a terrible joke.
Anyway, so what's going on? You turn it on. There's nothing goes on the
You
screen.
actually don't turn it on.
You don't.
Yeah, you try to turn it on, and I called. So I called Samsung, and they like had to. They're like, you can do a thing where like they send you a link, and then they can like video chat with you or whatever.
Okay.
So I showed them everything, and they're like, yeah, this we'll send somebody out. So they contract some local person.
Yeah.
They come out. The guy gets there. He goes, man, this is mounted. We can't do anything with it. It's got a sound bar on it too.
Yeah.
It's mounted. Can't do anything with this. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, it's mounted. They won't let us touch it.
Why can't they unmount it?
Liability.
Liability.
And that takes.
Well, here's the thing.
Huge.
I said, again, there was a video camera. They
Yeah, so
saw it was mounted. Like they saw it. And she asked me, is it mounted? I said, yes. So the guy comes out. He's like, I can't touch it. And I call Samsung. And he's like, no. So he goes, I go, is it fixable? He goes, oh yeah, this is the thing that's happening with all of these TVs. I'm pretty sure this is the thing. I just do this thing and then it's pretty much fixed forever. So I call Samsung and it's like when I'm, it was when I was shipping out that stuff from UPS. So I was distracted and, it was like, I was angry and had to be like a little forceful. No profanity, but just a little forceful. Got to a supervisor and then was, he was like, oh, it's the thing. And I'm like, yeah. So then he started saying like, well, maybe we'll find somebody that will actually be able to take it down or whatever. And then we got disconnected and I'm just like, so I called back the guy. I go, what if you just do it? And, cause what they're worried about is if something happens, then you're right. Liable, like Samsung isn't going to pay for it. I was like, he goes, here's what we're going to do, man. You get us to call these guys, get them to come out and agree to unmount it and mount it. They work with us. If they do that, you pay them, and then whatever we do, we'll bill Samsung. So that's what I got to do.
Gotcha.
And it's going to be. I think I'm probably going to wind up paying those guys like $300 or something to do that, which is fine compared to what the TV costs. But
Oh, dude, the TV.
Just nothing works, man.
a lot of hoops.
Nothing ever works.
Man, I've heard some horror stories about the OLED. Now, the picture's unbelievable.
It's not.
Well, currently.
Right now, the picture is it's pretty bad.
Dude, can I ask you something? And I'm not being a jerk.
Oh boy.
I'm not.
Let's hear it.
Have you checked the batteries on the remote?
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, I'm dumb, which we've known for years.
I don't know.
And there's a chance that that's something I got run into. So
You thought I was that stupid.
I did not. Hey, listen. I did not. That's why I said it.
I was
was
that
very
stupid.
He was troubleshooting.
I was just troubleshooting.
When also I can just if the thing's doing a little light, on the remote, that it's not the batteries. But I did switch.
I didn't know. I don't know what kind of remote you have, man.
But say it. You think I'm stupid?
No, I think you're very handsome. Yeah.
Oh no! Last episode, yes.
Well,
There's all kinds of problems with my looks.
People are talking about your beard. They want you to get involved.
Yeah, they want it.
So.
Lighten up the internet.
Dude, I did some dumb stuff. You guys know what Rain-X is? The spray that you put on your windshield on the outside to keep the rain off.
What'd you put that on? The dog?
I put it on Gus. I was like, he gets outside when we take walks. It's like a weatherproof.
Practical.
Yeah.
I put it on they had some deal at Waterway. The thing, it was like, I don't know, $2. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I put on, and this is where my mind, it's just gone.
Okay.
For the listeners,
I'm pointing to my brain that's very empty. I then decide after I spray the outside, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just, it makes the glass looks nice and clean. I'm going to put it on the inside.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. I don't know why. You can't get it off. I'm doomed. You'll see it. I'm taking to the airport here in a minute. The whole thing, it's just a fog. I can't get it off. The Rain-X on the inside. I have wiped it down 100 times.
You just thought you would use the Rain-X to clean
buddy,
the inside?
Here's the problem. I don't think. I just go. Yeah. There's nothing that just says, let's walk through this. I'm just like a nomad.
But
I just wander around in my little head.
Why? Just for comedy's sake. Because it is a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The guy that owns this podcast is the biggest comedian in the world.
Uh-huh.
So we can talk about sort of the ins and outs of comedy. When I said the dog, that was an attempt at humor.
Yeah.
Because it would be stupid to apply it to the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's dumber to put it on the inside of the windshield.
I can see your point.
Might have been a better exaggeration.
Yeah,
The
I
inside?
can see your point. It's just my point is this: like, I don't
But
know
you
what to
did that.
do.
I got a few questions.
You did that, and you had the nerve to ask if I changed the batteries out on the remote.
It was more, but I wasn't coming from a place of
I know
evil
you
there.
were. I know you were.
I swear, I was trying to. I was just looking out for you.
I love
so.
you, man.
Why does
I love you, buddy.
Why do you think it affects the inside different than the outside? I would still
was
think
literally-
that it would be clear.
I think in my subcon. I don't have the answer to that. I remember I put it on the outside of the window, and it looked nice and shiny. And I'm like, let me just put it on the inside like it's a Windex. And 2 weeks later, I cannot. It's over. I think I'm just gonna get rid of the car.
Yeah.
I think it's just time to sell the
Well,
car.
you can get a
so.
new windshield.
Could get a new windshield.
I need
but,
one of those. I'm cracked.
Oh, you're cracked, dude. Yeah, you're not gonna pass inspection.
It's I need to make it happen. But they run all those ads for that place, and they're like, oh, they'll come to your house. They won't come to my house.
I know. We've talked about this. You're just doing something wrong. I can get that fixed for you.
No, you tried in my car the other day, and it didn't work. You tried. You said the exact same thing, and I said, here, go for it. And then you were like, buddy, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I think there's another company that we can use, but
All right.
yeah, there it is. That stuff is poison.
To remove Rain-X from a car window, try using a solution of equal parts white vinegar and water
Okay.
with a microfiber cloth,
Rubbermaid, we got them in the other room.
rubbing it into the glass to break down the coating, then drying thoroughly.
All right. Well, I'll try the vinegar trick.
C
man, but
note.
I'm just, as a human being, it just makes me want to puke. That I would.
It says down here, if you were stupid enough to do this, we're not sure that you can read these instructions.
Greg, how many times have you called me stupid on this podcast? Over, under, Tim, 74.
I think that was the first one, and I didn't call you stupid. I'm just making it,
Over for sure.
just reading the internet.
No, I know. Just
54 episodes,
I
55
never called him
episodes.
stupid. Did I call him stupid?
Yeah.
Said he was a liar.
At least you've used synonyms for stupid.
I don't know why you keep saying I'm a liar. That's not cool, dude. You got to stop that.
Yeah, he's not a liar.
I'm not lying. I don't. You just don't like what you hear, so then you're like liar. I mean, that's not how logic works. Why logic, guys? We've been through this.
There it is.
I'm all about the why and the logic.
Man,
Bringing it back.
Bringing back the why
About
and
the
the
why?
logic.
Somebody
and the
had to.
logic.
Somebody had to bring it back.
Somebody
Somebody
mentioned
did.
it. By the way, man, hilarious. My some friends and family who don't listen to the podcast, which I'm not happy with.
Ooh.
But we'll watch the YouTube special that we had.
Yeah.
Dude, the 390 out of context is hilarious.
Oh,
To
people.
explain,
You
people
have
like,
no idea.
I mean, and of course, why would you if you don't listen to the show?
Right.
And they're like, what is it? Did you play the pick 3 and did it hit? And I'm like, no, but that's a great idea.
That's so funny you bring that up. You're absolutely right. And on mine, all these people in my life are like, what is up with the country club? Because if you don't know any better, all the Coterie members, God love you, are in there commenting on my special. And it's see you at the, I haven't seen you since the country club. Great, love from the country club, all this stuff. So if you don't
So who's
know,
asking you this?
pardon me,
Who's asking you this?
the handful of people in my life.
People from the
Who-
country club
no, not people from
over
the
at
country
Belle
club.
Reeve.
Can I tell the story, please? So, if
Don't
you
worry,
don't,
you'll get in there.
if you
You're
don't
okay.
know any better, yeah, I promise you'll get in there. There'll be plenty of time.
Greg Ward. Tim, continue.
So if you don't know any better, you just go, man, Tim's Country Club really came out to support him in these comments.
yeah, no,
Because the people are literally saying, it looks like, see you at the country club, look at the country club. Everybody thinks that, which is the last thing I want.
no, I know, but I know, but
Anne Murray.
Greg finds you and I so uninteresting.
yeah, no, I know.
That he's forced to just
he just
toss up Hail Marys.
It was
the
a
whole
comic device.
time.
At one time, we got on your nerves because we kept saying Canadian bands. I thought it'd be funny to call it back.
I don't know. I get the bit. I'm also just saying, we're having a conversation.
yeah. I mean, we're talking tough. What? Oh, is my pen bothering you?
Rush.
He's trying to.
Just trying to
Oh,
get you
doing
to,
the country. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Brian Adams. Go ahead. Next.
Listen, it's not funny now.
Oh, well, I know you pointed
Oh,
at me.
kind of like the story I was trying to tell that wasn't funny because you were doing bits the whole time.
Right.
Don't-
But in closing, Tim is 100% right. It is hilarious. If you're out of context with the country club and the 390, people they want to know. They're like, it just
They're on
doesn't
the
make
outside,
sense.
man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but right. It's a good motivator to get them to go listen to the pod.
I know. Be like, yeah, you guys tune in.
Yeah,
You can be in on this nonsense.
I'm not in a country club. Find
Yeah.
out. Find
And
out.
I don't
why.
weigh 390 pounds.
God,
That's
yeah.
what somebody asked me. Is that your weight?
So much $3.90, and a lot of we can smell you through the screen, and you
Yeah.
smell good.
Yeah. Yeah. What batch? The bad batch. The good bad batch.
Bad batch. Yeah.
That's a fun one, man. That is a fun one. Yeah. 18K11. Bad batch. Man.
Bad
So,
batch. It was a bad batch, man.
It was, man.
Too many bad batches.
You want to finish telling your story?
Finished it a while ago, man. You were trying to think of Canadian artists for your bit.
Yeah.
Who does the
Slade Dion.
good job, man.
Nickelback, Sum 41. We already did them all. Bare
We
Naked
did 'em all,
Ladies.
man. I know. Now
We
we're
already
just
did 'em all.
reiterating.
Bare Naked Ladies.
Not good.
Solid. Really good. You want to make fun of my sweatshirt?
That's a Comedy on State, man. It's an awesome sweatshirt.
Greg gave me this sweatshirt from Comedy on State. They
Yeah, we
gifted
talked
to
about
him
it yeah, last episode.
up in
What
Madison.
are you doing, man?
What?
What?
It was a gift to me from the club.
Yeah, but what did you say?
Hold on.
Okay. All right,
The
fine.
gift to me from the club,
Yeah.
from Eve and Anna that own the club,
Yeah.
and Al.
Yeah.
And
I'm saying,
so now
I'm revealing
on
that you
the-
handed it
I'm
off.
saying that I'd re-gifted their thing. The way it went down was Tim really loves hoodies.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man, I really want one.
That's a mischaracterization.
No, I know.
When you saw
By
mine,
quite
you're
a
like,
bit.
I should have got one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I said that. I was like,
they
cool.
gave me one. And then I was like, you know what, buddy, you did a good job this weekend. You can have it. And then I made maybe an off-color joke about Tim.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Well, Greg, let's be honest. You don't wear zip-up hoodies.
I like a zip-up hoodie.
I've never seen you in one.
Yeah,
Hooded
I mean,
sweatshirt, Greg calls them.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. No, Tim said.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, boy. What did you do?
He goes, I could tell. I knew he would want the sweatshirt.
Yeah, of course.
I knew he wanted. He
Sure.
loves.
Love the club?
Yeah, and I love the club too. It was amazing. So he goes, oh man. And I go, hey man, you can just have it. He goes, really? You sure you don't want it? I go, people already know I'm a comic. I don't need to wear stuff to.
I love it.
What he wants people to know on a regular basis is that he likes barbecue. That's more his wardrobe.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'll wear a barbecue restaurant T-shirt.
I like wearing club stuff. I think it's.
No, I think it's
I'm
an
not
awesome
telling him I'm a
sweatshirt.
comic.
I just knew that you really, really wanted it. So
totally.
yeah.
No, and
that's-
I wasn't trying to get it from you. We can share it. We'll go on days, off days.
Nah, man. Make sure you're air dry. You don't
I'll
want it to
probably
fade.
get another one at some point. I don't see you going back there.
Randy liked it.
I'll have you know.
That was great, man. Hey, you can tell too. They use good quality, you know. I went. My buddy Charlie Winfrey. He's a comic out of St. Louis.
He's a very funny guy.
Love
man.
Charlie.
Great
Hilarious.
guy,
Just
funny guy.
like one of those guys. Probably like so funny on stage, but like, and I say it as a compliment, almost funnier off stage. Just a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to Oasis in Mexico City with his wife, and I'm like, oh, dude, have a good time down there. And and I'm like, do I ask him for a T-shirt? I was like, he's got to carry around. Just by fate, he texted. He goes, hey, you want me to get you a shirt? And I'm like, dude, that'd be great. So I'm like, awesome. He comes back. He goes, dude, I even did you one better. I got you a zip-up hoodie. I'm like, whoa, dude, an Oasis zip-up hoodie.
Incredible.
I'm like, this is great. I'm like, man, that's a little pricey though, man. And he goes, nah, I got you, dude. And I was like, okay, thanks, man. Unbelievable. He's like, nah, you're good. And then I look and I'm like, it's like an Adidas. I'm sorry. I think they're like one of the sponsors of the Oasis of the hoodies. Did I say it wrong?
Come on, man.
Come on.
This is
Adidas. Adidas. I'm sorry.
come on.
Come on.
He does this. This is the biggest fight we ever got in. Was a similar
Because
situation.
do you think he genuinely doesn't know what Adidas
I don't
is?
know.
Yeah.
He does the same thing with Ed
Is
Sheeran.
it?
I do.
and
He
I
said Ed
don't
Sheridan.
know if he knows or not.
Not that
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I do say something wrong long enough, and then it's hard to course correct for me.
Is it jive or is it Jif? I don't know.
Adidas it's just a regular part of life.
Yeah, man.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but
So go ahead. Sorry. It
just
says
now it's-
Adidas.
It's
No,
the
it's got-
Buffalo Biles,
it's
right?
got the logo on it, but it's like tilted.
Oh,
I'm
really?
Like, Charlie, where'd you
Maybe
get this?
it was
He's like, oh
Adidas.
no, they have some vendors outside the stadium.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. That
Randy's
might,
like-
actually, now,
Randy's
sorry,
like-
Sean. Sorry, I apologize. That might have been an Adidas.
I know, maybe it actually was an Adidas. It said
Randy's like,
adios
yeah,
instead.
man.
And
Randy's got some
I'm just
Adidas.
I was laughing so hard, like I'm like one of the stripes starts like peeling off, and I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe it's not the most authentic
It
thing.
was like
So-
parking lot merch.
Yeah, and I love Charlie for it. It was great. And I know he spent money, but it was I was like, I'm looking online, like this is $200.
I would
And he
imagine,
probably negotiated for $10.
especially outside of the U.S., I would imagine that parking lot merch isn't patrolled all that well.
Oh,
You
he
don't,
said
think,
it's
you don't think that's regulated?
No, I would imagine
In Mexico
not.
City?
Mexico
Yeah.
City, that'd be difficult. Parking lot merch, you never know. Like sometimes you get a good one. The first concert I ever went to, I was in 8th grade. I went to see the Counting Crows, and there's a guy walking around outside wearing T-shirts, and I had never been to a concert before, so I'm like, that's the thing. So I just bought this. It was the worst. I mean, it was like the deepest V you've ever seen. I think it might have been tie-dyed or something. Just total piece of garbage. And so then inside I see the real stuff, and I had to buy. So I spent I learned a pricey lesson that day.
yeah.
But then, man, I went to Guns N' Roses at the Dome a few years back. That parking lot merch was hot.
Yeah?
Good.
Picked up some of that.
It was-
No, it was hot. It was
legitimately
stolen.
hot.
Yeah. They stole the real stuff and were hogging it outside.
Did Axel, did he make his peace with St. Louis?
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Actually, it was. They came out. They were all wearing. Richard Fortas is from St. Louis, and he's in the band and has been for a really long time. So they, as kind of maybe a peace offering, they were wearing Street Side Records T-shirt. What else was it? That Coral Courts Motel, a bunch of like St. Louis
Coral
sort
Courts.
of landmarks. They were wearing so Street Side. They were wearing the T-shirts of these St. Louis, monuments to kind of little tip of the cap. But it was
Saying,
awesome.
like, yeah.
It was a great
Vintage
great
vinyl's
show.
still there. Isn't it?
Yeah. But Street Side was different, something different.
I know it's Street Side.
But yeah, vintage vinyl's there. So is
There's
the
one in
what's-
Webster Groves, I
What's the
believe.
one right over here, Randy? Record Exchange. There's some good spots.
Yeah.
Man, I want to get a record player or vinyl.
Should.
I know.
They're
I just know
expensive.
I know it'd be a problem for me.
Why?
I would spend a lot. Collecting music would be a severe addiction for me.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you get a vinyl. You're talking $25 probably.
But
right?
you can get old stuff. Old used stuff is super cheap, and that's kind of the stuff you want anyway.
It's true. You just go to like record store and then boom.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea for you.
Why is that?
I just think you're.
Well, man, you're not going to be watching TV anymore, so maybe you should
It's true.
get a
Yeah,
record
it's good.
player.
That's a good
I'm just
point.
saying, man, self-control. You just said it might be a problem. You ate 50 things of Tic Tacs the other day.
What a mess.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
I
Next
binged
thing
the
I know,
Tic
you're going to be 80,000 U2 records.
Yeah, I would definitely get a
I
handful.
think it's a good idea.
No, I know. So,
Tim's not your friend. He's encouraged you because he thinks it's going to be funny to watch you blow all the money.
No, that's not why.
no.
We can
No, Tim, no.
trade records and stuff.
Do you
Yeah,
are
that'd
you
be cool.
collect?
I don't collect.
Collect, but-
I mean, I have record players and I have quite a bit of vinyl, but not. I'm not accumulating.
You're not
it
searching
regularly.
stuff out. You're not going to the record stores on the road. and-
Well, we went to where were we in Grand Rapids? In
Yeah,
Grand
we
Rapids,
saw a little
went to
record store. It's pretty cool.
So I'll go in places, especially on the road, and find something cool. But like the used stuff, you get like a $5 record. It's kind of fun.
yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's like a regular part of my life. And then there's a cool shop. Euclid Records is by me over in.
Oh,
Webster.
yeah.
That place is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. You should get into it, not
Yeah.
so that I can watch you fail.
No, I want to. And call in if you're into the records. I like to know what people are listening to these days.
Do we have a phone line I was unaware of?
We
Yeah,
better.
he thinks we're on morning radio. I don't know.
That's the.
Sean, nobody's calling.
That's why I don't make jokes because I make the joke. It's so dumb. That's why I'm just clowning the morning radio.
I liked it.
That's why he doesn't make jokes. What do you do for a living?
Make jokes, but then I make a joke and then you just humiliate me. You just humiliate me and you just say that was dumb. And why are you talking?
Hey, we don't call people stupid on this podcast. The brand this week is Ludo.
Ludo, the brand, man.
Ludo. That is the band.
Buckle up,
that
Randy.
Tim Convey was a member.
Still a member.
We love hearing about it. Tim, honestly, I had to talk him into doing this. The Ludo, we'll get into all of it, but they're playing very soon here in St. Louis. They get together once a year in St. Louis and play around Halloween. We thought it'd be a good time to do it. I'd love to hear all about the band.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's funny. So years ago, we did a podcast that he's leaving. Good bit. All right, great. Okay. Oh, like Greg said, he talked me into it. I'm very self-conscious about going into it. People already think some of our brands are self-indulgent. And this one, oh boy. But yeah, it's fun.
Dude, this is fun.
Years ago, the three of us and a couple other friends did a podcast called Trip to the Lou, and we did a Ludo episode, and that was really fun to talk about. But at the time, Ludo didn't exist. It was on our what now turned out to be a hiatus. We had broken up, so to speak, and now we're back. So it's interesting. So things have kind of changed, and I look back on the whole experience and the story a lot differently than maybe I did last time we talked about it. I'm not gonna present.
What?
Nothing.
No, man. I honestly am interested. I love it. So, the band. Well, I would just take us back to how did the band form. That's always the most interesting part.
Sure.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is how did the band form.
Yeah.
And then there's that really cool part about when the band started. Like, when you're watching those behind the music things, it's like when it just started clicking, and you're like, oh my God,
right.
This might be something.
Right. So, we got together. I joined what was going on in 2003. So I've known Tim Farrell, who plays guitar in the band, since we were probably freshmen in high school.
Okay.
And we had been in bands together and played music. And then sometime when we were in college, I was at Mizzou. He was at Notre Dame. He hooked up with a couple of guys who were from St. Louis, and he kind of, when he was home, he would meet them and play music. And those guys were Andrew Volpe, who's the lead singer, and this guy Dave Hildebrand, who plays bass guitar. And so they kind of played, and then even sort of were calling themselves Ludo and playing songs that Andrew had written in high school. So I knew of Ludo was this band that my buddy Tim was in, and they were playing here and there and maybe kind of rotating people, but not like full band stuff necessarily. It was a lot of like duo or trio, and more they were just sort of, writing songs and stuff. And again, Tim was up at Notre Dame. They were back here. So fast forward to college ending, everyone's trying to figure out what they're going to do with their lives. I was in different bands in college, and these guys basically, when they graduated, or when Tim graduated, was like, that they decided we're going to make a run for this. Tim Farrell was living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, working on some other project that had just sort of ended or crumbled. And he calls Andrew and he goes, I'm coming home. We're going to give Ludo a run. And Andrew goes, no, stay there. I'm coming to Tulsa. We don't know anybody there. There won't be any distractions. We'll do nothing but put our head down and kind of do Ludo. So that's what was sort of in the books. They were gonna do that. And I was like, oh, this will be great, guys. This is going to be really fun. And kind of doing my own thing, was in different bands. And at that time during college, I was had worked a few summers at MTV and was, upon graduation, going to move out to New York and continue my career.
So how do you get a job at MTV, man?
I had an intern. I got a college internship. A guy I knew that I worked with had an intern there and then was hired there. And I was like, I'll do whatever it takes. At that point, I thought
MTV was hot back then.
MTV was hot back then, and I thought that was kind of my only chance at like entertainment. The only thing I thought I was any good at was music and sort of entertainment. And I'm like, it's got to be something like that, because I can't. How am I going to make a living? Kind of doing anything else? Because at that time I didn't have a band that I thought was, this will be worth a go.
When you were in these bands in college, you were a lead singer in most of those?
Yeah, so all the bands I was in prior to Ludo, with one very short exception, I was the lead singer.
Okay.
And played like a little bit of guitar, which I had no business doing. So yeah, I sang in all those bands. And so that's part
of
What were
some of those bands?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Fat Chance was my big high school band. In around 8th grade, I was in a band called Rail, which of course is Liar backwards, which makes it really cool. I was part of a project called Shlomo's Magic Muffins for a while. And then multiple bands that changed the band name every time that we played.
Hot Licks was a cover band, right?
So Hot Licks was a band that Tim Farrell and I were in with Kevin Bowers, who did the Consumers theme song and is now with me and Convy and Bowers and playing live with the comedy shows. We were in Hot Licks. There was 5 of us. So one night down in Columbia, Missouri, all the members of Hot Licks were on a bill together. We were all in different projects, and we were all in town. So we're like, let's play some Hot Licks songs. So we get up and we play. And Hot Licks was an 80s cover band well before there were 80s cover bands. This is late 90s. So we get up and we play. And Andrew from Ludo had never seen me play before. And so he said that night, he's like, you got to join Ludo. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm a singer. He's like, you're going to play keyboards. And Andrew had a lot to drink that night. And I'm like, I don't play keyboards. And he goes, I'm going to teach you. So that night we're back at my house again in college in Columbia, Missouri. And there was not a keyboard in that house because why would there have been? And Andrew was taking note cards and writing keys, drawing basically a piano, and then convinced that he is going to teach me all of music theory on a keyboard. And I'm like, I don't really think this is going to. He goes, no. You're a musician. You're a performer. You can do it. It's so simple. It's so simple. And I'm like, all right, we'll see. But I kind of listened, and then he kind of pushed, and then I'm not sure Farrell was convinced it was a good idea at all. And then finally, it was kind of like, all right, sure, yeah. I'm in Ludo. I'll be the keyboard player. And then I graduated. I started kind of booking Ludo shows, like I kind of booking them shows. And then it was like, yeah, I'm the keyboard player. And next thing I know, I am working with a keyboard and kind of like learning some stuff and adding some kind of fun stuff. But then we were driving through, I think it's Terre Haute, Indiana. Where's Sweetwater based, Randy? Is it Terre Haute?
Over that way, yes.
Yeah. Driving through Terre Haute, Indiana, we go to Sweetwater, which is this big music mega store, like more or less an online retailer, but it's just the biggest place you can imagine. They have everything. It's where you go to get your gear. And we go in there and we come across a Moog synthesizer, or Moog, however you want to say it.
Make sure you say it right.
Which is this incredible synthesizer based in Asheville, North Carolina. This guy, Bob Moog, invented it. Just this amazing, hyper nerdy, cool thing that a lot of bands that we were into at the time, Weezer, The Rentals, used them a lot. Now, they were also in a bunch of 70s music, like Paul McCartney was using it a lot. There's stuff in Stevie Wonder. What's it? Heart. There's some great Moog stuff.
Oh man, I bet you I know which it is. Yeah.
Magic Man.
Yeah. That's a Moog.
Yeah. So and then tons of other examples, but like for us, it was that Weezer Rentals kind of 90s thing, and this keyboard. They're like, we're buying it. You're gonna play it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not really even in the band, and they're like, oh no, we're gonna do this, and it cost $3,000, which at that time was so much money, especially to us. And I was like, oh boy, I'm in. But I also fell in love with this thing. I'm like, this is the coolest thing. And the Moog we bought that day is the Moog I play on stage to this day, and my most prized possession. And so then before we know it, I'm in it. So we go on this little tour playing acoustic stuff, and then with like, hey, we're gonna come back with the band. We didn't have the rest of the band, so I moved to Tulsa, that was Ludo headquarters at the time, in this small house that I've driven Greg by when we performed down there, and just buried ourselves into writing songs and learning to play live and searching out for a rhythm section. We needed a drummer and a bass player. We put online ads all over the country, even in like the little local ones. And then people came from all over and auditioned, and we ended up with the guys that we got. Oh, sorry, Dave at that point. Dave had left. Before I joined, Dave had left. He was in another band, and that was it. Full circle, and we'll get to it. Dave is now back in the band, but hadn't been for, wasn't in it for like 20 years.
Was, I think you told me at one point, because your life was sort of, music was your thing.
Yeah.
Even as young as middle school, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I was in bands in like 3rd and 4th grade, but then in 8th grade was when people really like playing instruments, and you're learning Green Day songs and Bush songs and Everclear and with my buddy Jack in his basement. That was the beginning of playing music.
So, but like, you figured out pretty quickly, Volpe's like a genius, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like a prodigy, like sort of crazy talent, right? And Farrell is in a way too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you figured out pretty quickly, like, these guys are insanely talented, right?
Yes. Yeah, I guess I left a lot of that like first impression stuff
When
out.
did you figure that out? I mean...
I went and saw them play at a coffee house a really, really long time ago. I think it was what's the place up in Maplewood where people play? Focal Point. And... yeah, I was just kind of blown away. I mean, Tim Farrell, who plays guitar, who we were very tight, and I was very aware of what he could do. Not only what an incredible musician he was, but like we called him intensive training Tim Farrell. He was one of those. He was a wrestler in high school, and one of those like whatever I do, I'm going to just completely throw myself into and be incredible. And brilliant. He went to Notre Dame and majored in entrepreneurship, and was just a really somebody you were like, yeah, this guy something good is going to happen here. And then hooked up with Andrew. So I see them perform together and hear them sing, and Andrew's songs were, just, unbelievable. Their song Hum Along, it's one of our big songs. And I remember that was written, before I was around. And it was just, it to this day, probably my favorite Ludo song, just because it's the one that made me go, oh.
Called Hum Along?
Hum Along, yeah. It was the one that just made me go, I want to be a part of this. But yeah, he's brilliant. And, just incredible lyrics, incredible storytelling, and just his, just as a musician, kind of composer, if you will. He's just very, very next level. Yeah, I mean, you've been in comedy long enough. Do you see it sometimes? I see it every now and then. There's no way around comedy there's no shortcuts really. Mm-hmm. But there are some people that are pretty gifted. Yeah. And in a bunch of different ways. And I don't say it to like minimize the work they put in it. I mean, Nate's very, very gifted. He's also worked really, really hard. Yeah. My friend Tommy Johnigan, who's a writer now, is a guy that, he got there a little quicker than most people got there. He's just extremely gifted. Also a very, very hard worker. Right. But I think the two have to come together to sort of break through. For sure. And I think there was I mean, he's quite a few steps ahead with sort of whatever the topic is. Just as, Andrew absorbs things at a level unlike I've ever seen. And then the work there too, almost a compulsion where if he's like, oh, I'm going to finish this thing, it means you don't see Andrew for a few days, and he may not sleep. He may forget to eat because he's going to go do that thing. And that can be very, very effective. Yeah. So that's as a songwriter, creator, an artist. Yeah.
I got a question. Now, I might have asked you this in the past, but I don't know if I got a clear answer. When you create a song, it could be music first, then lyrics, or is it lyrics first? Or it just like from a genesis of a song to the end? Yeah. I think the best way to answer that question is the classic movie Music and Lyrics with Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore. Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean that's where everybody kind of goes to find these answers. Is this also a real movie? My friend Brad Garrett. I love the movie. Oh, good movie. Yeah. So just watch that movie to get that answer. Yeah, I'm kind of kidding. I know. Either one. Different cases. I would say some people who write, probably come up with a lyric they like and a melody, and then they sit down to do the music. Other people might finish a song before they have a clue, might finish the music of a song before they have a clue what it's going to be about and apply that. I would say with Andrew's process, I think probably both have happened, whether it was like, oh, here's an idea or a hook and a melody or something he did on guitar that he liked. I think it's come, and I think the guys who are really, really good, it comes differently sort of every time. Wherever that source of inspiration is that starts, it can be different. Sure, because I was saying like if you go lyrics first, then if I had lyrics first, are you like, okay, this is going to be to a song that is faster pace or is going to be slower pace? Mm-hmm. Is that man? Well, we might try both ways. We might try this on a slow thing or a rocking thing. It's just fascinating to me how that gets selected. And I mean, it's art. So it's like there aren't necessarily like it's whatever, that person is inspired to sort of do or pursue or whatever. It's also the difference between, somebody putting something together on their own and then collaboration, which is somebody has an idea and it brings this and that idea doesn't necessarily fit the writer's original thing. But do you go for it or do you say, no, let's keep it on this track? And it's all songs, end up in so many different places than they could based on, the relationships of the people in the room, the collaborators, the skill that people are bringing it to. So it's all just, So you guys are in Tulsa. You're in Tulsa. We're in Tulsa. And it's like go time. And you guys, I've learned a little bit about this because we spent some time in Tulsa together. Mm-hmm. So you guys have a house that you rented, right? Yeah, tiny little house. I saw it, and it's you, Farrell, and Andrew. Mm-hmm. And not Dave anymore. And a couple of ferrets.
couple ferrets.
Andrew had ferrets. The
Andrew
ferrets had a
ferrets.
bedroom before I did, and I had to kind of negotiate my way into getting the bedroom.
I think that's fair. You got to show your worth.
Absolutely.
And you guys would just basically, you don't know anybody in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, we're here. We're just going to write all day.
Mhm.
We're going to practice all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys decided that you also, you're going to be rock stars. So you need to be in shape. So you guys go out and play. Was it kickball every day?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was more just sort of to mix up the day. The getting in shape stuff might have happened a little bit later. But yeah, we'd practice, write, do a little bit of business, and then we'd take a kickball break every day. And this is once Matt and Marshall had joined the band. And there were 5 of us, so we'd play Irish versus Italian. So it'd be Farrell and I on one team, Matt Palermo and Marshall Fanchula on the other, and then Andrew, who was half Irish, half Italian, would have to alternate or be all-time pitcher. But yeah, Irish versus Italian kickball. Yeah, just about every single day.
And how did you find Matt and Marshall?
Those wanted ads from all over the country. So they came in from Marshall from Omaha, Nebraska, Matt from Houston, Texas. Matt had, I think, just turned 19.
Where are those wanted ads posted back then?
So your local musician, I'm sure they exist to some degree now still, but not necessarily in the newspaper, but it was the beginning of that, on the internet, you go to
Craigslist type.
forums and stuff where people are looking for musicians. And I remember we'd always get kicked out because it's got to be local, but where else are we supposed to, kind of find these things?
Right.
So
you guys are like, we got to find a drummer, and we're going to go do a countrywide search.
We put them on just everything in the country. I need to hear from, some people were a lot of lunatics. I remember the guy from Saigon Kick. Do you know that band?
No.
The guy from Saigon Kick, who it might be a comedian to some degree now. He was in Saigon Kick, and then he joined Sebastian Bach. What's it called? Randy? Skid Row. And he wrote this long thing to us, just being a total jerk about how, it's not going to happen, kids, or whatever. Phil Verone, that's him.
He was a jerk to you guys?
Yeah. He wasted his time, the drummer from Saigon Kick, wasted his time writing these very young musicians telling us to give up, and we kept that email.
What's his problem? Why?
I think he does comedy to some degree. You should check that out. So
man.
Phil Verone and I should get together.
I don't know Verone.
I know. I'm not trying to stick
for a
that.
while.
I just remember thinking, what a, I had some words for Phil Verone.
So
I'll bet he's not very funny.
So Matt from Houston, who I've met, answers one of these things.
Yeah, and
he comes in, and he's 19 years old.
Flies in, auditions. We had seen enough of his tape from the band. He was in a hardcore band, and we had seen enough from his stuff to know this is our guy.
He's he's crazy talented, right?
Yeah. Really, really good.
I think
really,
I remember
really
you
good.
telling me a story about, was it Pops that you were at, and you were playing with
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Leto,
My so-called life guy?
30 Seconds to Mars. Yep.
He had a band.
Yeah.
And he was kind of sort of not nice to you guys, not sort of off-putting maybe.
Yeah. So what happened? The story is, so we did a show. I mean, this is probably 2005. 30 Seconds to Mars is Jared Leto's band. It was pretty cool, and they were doing a bunch of radio shows. So somehow we got put on the bill, right? So it was another local band, and then us, and then 30 Seconds to Mars, which I think was a free show because it was sort of 30 Seconds to Mars trying to kind of, introduce themselves at alternative radio. So the first band goes up, and they're playing, and I'm watching on the side of the stage with Jared Leto, and the first band, the singer's like, "Are you guys excited to see on stage? Are you guys excited to see Jared Leto? He's so dreamy," which is exactly the last thing.
The last thing that he wants.
Jared Leto wants. He's trying to be taken
I'm on
seriously.
Leto's side here. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
However, so that guy, what an idiot.
Yeah.
So Leto, for whatever reason, grabs me and is like, "You better hope." I don't know if I should tell the story.
You can, man. Just trust
He's
your
like,
instinct.
"You better hope you guys are better than this. This is an embarrassment."
Yeah.
Whoa. And I'm like, Jared Leto just said, oh my
Yeah.
God. Then I had a moment where I was like, because we're a couple years into Ludo. Ludo's we didn't achieve the heights that we had at that point, but I knew we were good. And I knew what we were about to do up there. We were about to play this album Broken Bride all the way through. And so I walked over to him and I go, hey man, you should watch us because we are better than this. It's not an embarrassment. And he's like, so then we go on and we're awesome. And he had gone back to the bus, but his band went and got him and made him come out and watch. And he was super cool on stage saying, give it up for Ludo, like really cool. And then we'd cross paths with them.
But weren't they blown
tour.
away by what Matt was doing?
Yeah. Everybody. I mean, yeah, he's really fun to watch, especially at, he still looks like he's 20, but especially, yeah, I mean, he's so young and he looks like he's 14 and he's just absolutely owning it. Yeah, he's as good as, most people out there. He's real good.
Okay.
And just really fun to watch too. Just a bit like athletic. So he was in marching band in high school. So, and a lot of those guys with that background have certain sort of chops that maybe other guys can't achieve. So yeah, he's fun to watch.
So you got Matt, and then you got the bass player Marshall. Where he came from? Where
he came from? Omaha, Nebraska. And yeah, auditioned those guys, and we're like, let's do it. And they're there's so many people just like waiting for that sort of shot. I years prior had been like, would have driven anywhere to audition for some band.
Sure,
same thing. And so a lot of people are like into it, and got those guys. They came down, I think, days later, and it was like I'd already started booking shows and started, playing together, gelling, figuring out kind of what this thing was, and then started playing shows. And it was, and I was still, I think I had gone back. I think not the first show we ever played, but the second show we ever played, which was the first show we ever played here in St. Louis, which is at Cicero's, where Wilco also played their first show. I had to fly back from, I worked on the VMAs, the MTV VMAs that year. They had brought me in just for that week to do the show. And I flew back that day to then go play at the Ludo show. And it was a weird feeling to leave the VMAs, which that was, going to be sort of my career is producing television. So you're in the middle, Chris Rock hosted that year, and who's my favorite comedian, and just in the middle of all that stuff. And then go do this band thing. So it was like, this is what I'm choosing. I'm saying goodbye to this path, and I'm going to go do this one. And our first shows, we were pretty bad. Like I remember, just the looks on my parents were so supportive of everything I did. And I graduated from college, so they were like, all right, as long as you did that, you can whatever. But I remember looking at them in that first show, and they probably had their doubts. So it was rough at the beginning. Yeah. Because we were doing something I think was interesting, and probably took a while to figure out exactly what it was. So from there, we went on the road, just booked everything that we could, everywhere that we could, whether that was like a music open mic or talking to a Mexican restaurant that didn't even have music and letting us play in the corner, to begging real clubs to let us open up on whatever show that hey, we're going to be in town, and we, can you give us pizza? And just played and played and played and played and played, and just got to a point where, we were pretty good. And then, and then you need people to come back and see you. So that was it. Be so good that next time people come back and they bring their friends, that's the only way this thing's going to go. And then printing, we'd print God knows how many CDs. And when we were in a town, whether it was here or on the road, you're sitting outside of whatever the big show is in town and handing out the CDs.
Wow.
And trying to engage these people a little bit. Like, here, if you don't like it, you can hit my friend. Like just silly kind of stuff. Or, you'd have headphones out and be like, here's our CD.
Really?
Check it out. Flyers for the next show. And if you like this kind of stuff, you might like us. And all that. Doing it ourselves, handing out the things. And it grew to the point where then in St. Louis, it's, people would come see us. And then it started to happen in other places. And then we'd, encounter other bands who were sort of the Ludos of their hometown. And then you'd trade shows with them. They'd open for us in St. Louis. We'd open for them in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Or Dallas or Kansas City. And that's a big, at that time, there was a very big thing that was going on. MySpace was driving so many of these people to shows. So we're out handing out flyers to shows, but we're also, everybody had to log in there however many hours a day on MySpace, which is just messaging people that like bands that we thought were kind of like ours. And be like, hey, I saw you like so-and-so. Check out my band. And you'd be surprised how many times that led to somebody then buying a ticket. Because if you're going to Topeka and you don't know anybody in Topeka, you start messaging people on MySpace who are in Topeka who like similar bands.
I mean, Dane Cook sort of built his early career on that.
Really?
Oh yeah, he would
dude, yeah, it was huge.
just reach out to everybody. He would just go home from the
Personally?
show and just would talk to people on MySpace all
Yeah.
night long.
Yeah.
And you, as well as being the Moog player, you early on you started handling the business side of things for the band.
Yeah, we all did stuff. I mean, we had a nice sort of division of labor in the early days outside of the music. So, but yeah, I'd worked at the Blue Note down at Mizzou. So like the venue stuff. So yeah, the booking stuff I was doing for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Which I learned some lessons. So I like I said, had interned and then was a PA at MTV. And when I first moved out there for that internship, my phone, I got was it Verizon or what was the other one? It was one that maybe Singular, maybe. I got a Singular phone. It was my first time getting a cell phone. My parents were like, "You're gonna live in New York. You need to get a cell phone." So I moved out there, and Singular wasn't in New York yet. So I had to immediately switch my phone as soon as I got there to Sprint, I think. And so I got a 917 New York number. So then when I left and started Ludo, I was very careful to keep that number because when you're calling clubs and booking, they're much quicker to answer.
New York area code,
New
right?
York area code, they think it's like an agent
Baller.
or something like that. So
yeah, that's funny.
to this day, I've got that New York area code.
Now it was interesting for me. My career has been a little bit up and down, but when I moved out to LA, I think pretty quickly after I quit the Procter & Gamble job,
Mhm.
and I got an 818 number, and that's the Valley in LA, and I've always kept that number.
Mhm.
And when I was out there, and then for a while when things were pretty hot, I'd see an 818 or a 310 or whatever, and I'd be like, "Ah, man, this is Hollywood calling or
Yeah.
whatever." And then, then things weren't quite as hot, and every time it was an 818. It's just somebody that it's a wrong number,
Oh, right.
usually with a language barrier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Hollywood's not calling me anymore. It's just, if I see that, I'd be like,
Yeah,
this is
it's
not
a
Hollywood
big-
calling. I'm aged
Yes.
out of that. So I would see that, or it was like somebody that was like a scam or something.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I see you live in the San Fernando Valley. We're coming in and doing sighting gigs or whatever, and then, so I just never would answer it. And then, things started picking up a little bit. And then I think it was right before I was taping The Champ.
Mhm.
There's this number that came in. I think it was a Beverly Hills number or something. I'm like, I'll just answer it. But I know this is something. It's like, hey, it's my current manager.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, I still, at the time, my career wasn't dead, but I have
Right.
my agent,
Right.
but I know I have his number, but it was some unknown,
Yeah.
LA or Beverly Hills number. And I'm like, it was like the next day. And I was just like sitting on the couch and he's like, hey man, I'm like, hey, I know who you are.
And his
man.
name is Adam Hollywood. So it was
Yeah, it was Adam
Yeah.
Hollywood,
great.
But-
Great agent.
So you guys are, and it's when you guys are out doing everything.
So we're out touring like crazy, and I feel like I've just for people who don't know anything who are coming into this, describe what we sort of did because it was kind of starting to cement. I sort of skipped a part that we made our first record before we had ever played a show. That we booked like a week of studio time here in St. Louis with this guy Jim Callahan, and we're like, we're gonna do this, and we started. Like the first day, he goes, guys, a week is not enough. So we brought in other engineers and we slept at the studio and would take turns recording and recorded 24 hours a day for like 8 days. And that's how we made the first Ludo record, again, before we had ever played a show, which is sort of insane. So to color our music for people a little bit is very, lyrically driven, lots of storytelling. Andrew is a songwriter, approaches every song like it's a movie. It's very, very specific lyrics. It's a lot of Sean's words of the week get thrown around a lot.
Remember when he used to do that?
Yeah, that was a good time.
It was a great segment that we used to do on the podcast.
I got some stuff coming, man.
Okay.
All right.
Seemed to miss it last week.
A lot of words you wouldn't normally hear in pop music. And then, that first record is very, people would say maybe kind of pop punk, I guess. And there's a little bit of that in there, but it's also kind of the beginnings. I think you can hear some of the more musically ambitious, theatrical influences and stuff that we would kind of get into later, which is a little bit more
Queen? Is there some Queen?
Yeah, the really simple thing people always say is Weezer meets Queen, which is about as good as any other description.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that sort of, we grew up on that 90s Weezer, Green Day, a lot of the ska, we're into Real Big Fish and Mighty Mighty Boss and stuff like that. And then certainly a love for big hooks, musical theater, stuff like that. And it all kind of combines and probably ends up kind of like, Weezer meets Queen makes sense.
Now, do bands care as much if you're like, if somebody's like, oh, you guys kind of remind me of, and then insert a couple names? As if we're comedians, you don't necessarily want to hear that, oh, man, you sound just like,
Same thing.
So it is just like, you never want to really hear
and it's
that.
never who you want to sound like, right? Like people are always, putting you in one thing. So it's the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But when you're in that band, you don't want to, you remind me of this, or like, you guys should be on this, or when you're just like, no, what we do is different.
Yeah.
I remember there's a book, that band Semisonic, who sings that song Closing Time. Right. Their drummer wrote a book and it's incredible. And he was like, they thought, that they should have been touring with, U2 and Simple Minds and stuff. And I'm getting the actual references wrong, but like people just wanted them to tour with, Soul Asylum and like pop band, it's just your perception is always maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, and when you're out, man, you guys are like all piled into a van, staying on couches.
Yeah, I mean, at that time in our life, we're 23. Matt was younger, but the rest of us, 23, 24. So friends were kind of just getting out of college, and at that time, you're like, people are living all over the country, so you're just staying with friends, and the people we went to high school with were spread out all over. People went to college with at that point, it's spread out all over. So it was like, who's got a friend in that city? And these places aren't very big, so it's a lot of sleeping on floors. They all want to show you how hard they party at that age. Like the band, my buddy and his band coming to town, and you're just constantly exhausted. So sleeping in the van. And
you're not making really any money. You got to split it 5 ways at the end of the day. I mean, or whatever it is.
Losing money. I mean, no, it was criminal. You're eating a ton of peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
No, loved it.
Might have saved his life.
We called them Armenian tacos. Have I talked about that before? Nick, our tour manager, who's Armenian, who we were just with, he would make peanut butter and jellies, but to make us feel like, things were better than they were, it was just an open-faced peanut butter and jelly that he'd close, and we'd be like, Armenian tacos tonight, guys.
Love it.
Because an Armenian guy was making them. So yeah, just out there, just taking everything we can get, completely poor, sleeping on floors. Maybe we'd treat ourselves to one hotel room that all 5 of us would stay in, and playing shows, and then also writing, thinking about what's next, and a label, and maybe there's management, maybe there's some industry involved. But we were selling a lot of tickets for an independent band, selling a lot of records for an independent band, and building relationships with these clubs that would have us back, and kind of starting to grow, building relationships with these other bands. And, it got to a point where we were selling a few hundred tickets in multiple places, which completely independently at that time was, kind of a big deal. So there was kind of some industry around a little bit. And then we started working on, we had a lot of songs there that we were like, this is our full length and the label's going to put this out, and isn't that going to be great? And the label kind of wasn't around, and we did a management deal with a company from New York, and it probably wasn't the best fit. And it was like, oh, these songs aren't going to come out on a label, so let's work on something else. We had a couple of songs that were sort of weaved together and told a story. There was a story of a guy who loses his wife in a car accident, so he invents a time machine to try to save her, and the time machine malfunctions, as they do, and he goes back to prehistoric times, and he has to save the world and all this stuff, and it's called Broken Bride. So we made this rock opera instead, and our management at the time was like, what are you doing? Don't do that. We're trying to get you on a label. We need more pop songs. We need more of the whatever, and we were just like, well, we're not putting these things out until there's a label involved. So like, we've got these songs which we love, and we're playing them out, and that's great, but we want to go make this thing. So we spent, 2 weeks in the studio, and made this rock opera called Broken Bride.
Dude, that's cool. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
To go against what, you're not being told. You're being told like, hey, this is not the path.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
It was not the path we want you guys on. I think that's pretty admirable, man.
But you're young, and so much of it is
anything that is anti-authority is going to really. It's the first thing O'Brien said in 20 minutes. He's like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
dude,
Somebody told you
I'm-
to do something. You said no. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I love it. No, man, I'm letting him. This
anything.
is good stuff. He's got the floor. I'm not interrupting his
I know,
flow.
but I'm just saying, it's just you just love it when you're going against.
Well, you're and you love the corporate. You're so the other way. It's like I think we need a balance. Both of us need to lighten up a little bit.
Vote Convy.
And then vote Tim. So
yeah,
I just think that's cool. I mean, from the Queen movie, I think wasn't that the deal with Bohemian Rhapsody? Like they're like,
everyone's
"Are
like,
you
you
guys?
can't have a
This is
single."
garbage."
Yeah.
And then the guy,
Look what he's
like,
doing,
"Get out of
man.
here."
You just said you guys don't want to be compared to another band, and then
I didn't
you're like,
say
just like Queen. You're just like
sound.
Queen. You're just like Queen.
I didn't say sound. I was saying how I believe that management or record label reacted to that song, which 40 years later
was a huge,
ended up
was a big success. And Queen, you can compare. So I'm
so
totally cool with that.
was Love Me Dead part of the Broken Bride album?
No, so Love Me Dead at that point was written. Love Me Dead was one of the first songs that we wrote post the first record. So it was around, we were playing it live, and it was like fans knew it, and you know, some of them were probably recording at shows, so it was kind of around. So we knew that was, you know, something special. But then we made Broken Bride, and that kind of, you know, probably turned off some fans, but kind of opened us up to a whole new thing. And that's the thing with the Jared Leto story. Put that out on our own. And continued to just tour. That thing kind of caught a life of its own, and it kind of grew our story a little bit more. So we were selling even more tickets and even more records, again, for an independent band. And then, met some people that all of a sudden some labels were involved, and we did the old South by Southwest conference, which is different now than it was. But at that time, it was like, we're going to go to South by Southwest and get signed. And I was like, well, that never actually happens. But it is kind of what happened with us. We did 2 different shows down there one year. This would have been 2006, spring of 2006. We had 2 shows booked, and in between, we had to go play. We were booked on a NACA conference, which was the Greg knows what it is. The big part of comedy. It's a
college.
These regional conferences where all these colleges go to see the NACA convention. If you get a NACA convention, it's great because you book a ton of shows every time you do it. But we had these 2 South by showcases, so we're supposed to be in Austin, Texas for that. The NACA showcase was in Baltimore, so we played our showcase in Austin, went to Baltimore, came back and played the second one. Played the first one. It went well. There was enough industry there. They sent all the, all the low-level guys came out to see us.
Yeah.
And then we went to Baltimore, and I remember passing out from exhaustion on this whole thing, then came back to Austin, and it was all our people around us just knew, like, oh, that everybody's coming. This is...
Because of the first performance... Yeah. Then it wasn't the low-level guys coming out.
Right.
It's the real guys.
The low-level guys went back and were like, oh, we should whatever. Again, part of it was our story. A part of it was, wait, they sell how, we were playing the pageant completely independently. We were, I think, maybe even selling out the pageant here in St. Louis, which is like 2,000 tickets.
And most people that do that already have a label.
Yeah.
You guys just did it with ground support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it ourselves. Yeah. So come back that Friday, I think it was the Friday or Saturday showcase, and it was line around the block, all the industries there. We're exhausted. We just played in Baltimore. We got nothing left, and just went up and did what we do, which at that point we had done, who knows how many shows we had played at that point. And it was awesome. I remember it was awesome. We did the exact thing that we do. They're also in Austin, Texas, seeing kids sing every word at the top of their lungs, this band from St. Louis. So they're like, this doesn't even make any sense. So I think it all just kind of led to it.
Because the fans are out there. They know
we're dropping out and letting them sing in Austin. You know what I mean? So I think industry was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, they're like, we missed this. So
Right.
Somebody should have been on this 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at that point, there's huge independent labels at the time too. So there's a lot of, Warped Tour's huge, Alternative Press is huge. You've got all those indie labels who we're also talking to, but then like the majors are all around too. So it was wild. So then we're at South by Southwest and getting, kind of wined and dined. It's all that stuff you hear about in the private room, and they pay for everything and you order whatever you want. And I think a lot of these industry people taking us out were unimpressed with how, not unimpressed, but like we weren't the rock star thing. You know what I mean? We were like, we're ourselves and kind of nerdy. We also knew exactly who we were. We had been doing it for us a long time by then, and kind of knew exactly who we were, who our fans were, what we wanted to do.
How old were you guys?
South by Southwest was, 20, 25, 26,
Okay.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but we're nerdy. We're a nerd rock band. So I think people were like, we're going to do this. And, the industry expected these people making fools of themselves and whatever. And we're kind of like, probably more kind of business questions and stuff like that.
Now, Timmy, was the music sharing, like the Napster stuff going on at that time? And was that hurting you guys or helping you guys or indifferent?
That was...
Or was that even a little earlier?
I don't remember Napster being a big part of... I don't remember that affecting us that much. I mean, maybe because it wasn't, but it was pre-iTunes, or we were kind of like, when we put the stuff out on our own. I mean, CDs were very much in demand still.
Okay, that's
regardless. But I think the Napster, LimeWire, all that had been at least slowed down by then, but also pre-iTunes. That's my recollection.
Right. So nothing really interfered. That part didn't interfere with like stealing music.
So then, I'm probably rambling too much here, but we get wined and dined, the whole thing, and you get the big A&R guys, but they got it. They want to the whole
label
A&R
stand
needs
for?
to artist and repertoire, but it doesn't. Just the guys who sign bands and then help you kind of develop a record. So. Long story short, so then we were doing showcases. They'd fly us to New York, they'd fly us to LA to showcase for the different labels, and the labels would team up and share the cost of whatever because they all wanted us, and then we go do these showcases. And a lot of them want to do showcases in rooms like this one where you just sit in there and play to them, and we're like, absolutely not. Part of our whole thing is this relationship with the fans, and that's the story, and that's what they need to see to really get it. So we fought and said, no, we'll book a venue, and our fans can come, and then you can come, and it worked out. So we go to New York and did what we do, but they were freaking out a little bit because when it came down to it, they were starting to think about radio and realized maybe that we're just a little bit more off the beaten path of what's going on at the time, and so they started dropping. And all of a sudden, somebody took us out to dinner to tell us that they weren't going to make us a deal, and it got really, really scary. But some indies were still around, and then Island. It came down to Island and Capitol. We played for both places. Island had gotten out early and said, "Oh, we don't do bidding wars, and we know this is going to be crazy." Island then, we liked the people there, got back involved, and long story short, we ended up on Island Records. So major label, part of Universal Music, Island Records, which was U2.
U2, yeah.
Bob Marley, all that. But then at the time had The Killers, Fall Out Boy, Rihanna. All that stuff was they were doing great. So signed a deal, and then it's like, all right, time to make a record. And then we never stopped touring. Like, people would encourage us to stop touring and like, oh, you got to focus on this and that. But we were like, we never want to let this thing go. And having that saved us multiple times where somebody new comes to L.A. Reid ran the label at the time. Somebody new would come in, they'd get rid of everybody, and we probably dodged bullets by, well, look what they just did, or they're writing even more, or whatever. We never ever stopped. And then we went and made a record. All these producers came in, and we met with different producers, and we went with Matt Wallace, who's still a close friend to this day. Matt Wallace he came up with Faith No More, and we always covered Epic by Faith No More. And so we kind of took that as a sign. Like, that song was, when we started, we played that song. That's the only cover we've ever done that's lasted our entire career. We just kind of took it as a sign. But he also did the big Maroon 5 record, the first Maroon 5 record. Songs about Jane. He had worked with R.E.M., he's worked with everybody, and was just the coolest guy when we met him. And so that's who we did the record with. So went to L.A. in 2007, and lived in LA for, 6-8 weeks, and just made the record the way you kind of see it on TV. Sound City Studios, which is that there's a big documentary about that place, but it's where Nirvana did Nevermind, and Tom Petty did a bunch of records, and I think Fleetwood Mac did Rumors and Rage Against the Machine, and I recorded piano on a piano that Elton John had played on a bunch, and just made the record, did the thing, pre-production, the whole thing. It was awesome. It was great. Almost died on the way out to LA in El Paso, but we made it, and we made the record.
Why? What do you mean you almost died?
Ice.
Oh.
The basic story is we were driving, we hit ice, which is, I don't know why it was. Does it make sense that there was snow in El Paso?
Amarillo maybe, but El Paso, I don't think so, man.
It was weird that there was ice there. Anyway, somebody's driving. All right, it wasn't El Paso. Somebody's driving, and Tim Farrell tells the story that he was asleep on the bench in the van and he heard commotion and he looked up and out the window he saw our trailer. We had twisted so much that the trailer was just on the side of the van. Yeah. And
Gloria Stefan almost died like that.
Is that right?
On the tour bus.
There's a lot of those scary things. So, but yeah, we made it and then made the record. So Love Me Dead, all those songs that had kind of been around, a lot of those showed up and then we'd worked on new ones and recorded more than we needed, and then you choose the ones and you work with the producer and so it was finished in early 2007 and didn't come out for a year.
Wow. And you're just touring that whole time?
And we never stopped. People told us to stop. We had new management by then, which we went through quite a few managers. And then finally came out February of 2008. But all the time by that time we had an agent. People would kind of come on board because all of a sudden you have a label and they come on board. So we were still building what we were doing without the full impact of the label just yet.
So you guys are just more and more fans, playing a little bit better venues.
And people know we're on island and we have a real agent. So we're starting to get on tours. We toured with the Presidents of the United States of America. We toured with, Reliant K, Spill Canvas, a lot of stuff that was, kind of happening at the time. And so it was cool, but it was like, let's get this record out. And then finally, record comes out. They're trying to choose a single. They wanted the label, L.A. Reid, wanted this song, Drunken Lament, but we knew Love Me Dead was this really special. We just knew the way people responded to that. So we had to kind of push back, and to their credit, they're like, yep, you're right. Let's go with that. And came out and it was crazy. It was, went as high as number 8 on the alternative. So the label originally was going to do, we're deep in the weeds here and I apologize, but label was really originally going to do kind of a soft release, which I always tell anyone who's on a label, if you hear soft release, it is not a good thing. That means they're going to kind of put it out and sort of see what it does on its own, or maybe kind of spend money just in a region.
So we're going to do with this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Anyway, so the story is that one of the radio promoters, this woman, Christine Chiappetta, was with her, the head of K-Rock out in LA, which is, one of the biggest radio stations in the world. It was an in-law or something. She's at a party, might have been over the holidays. And she's like, hey, I got to play this one song. We're not taking it. We're not going with it, but I got to play this one song. And the guy, I can't think of his name. The big famous program director at K-Rock was like, I'm going to play it. So she goes and calls the label and goes, hey, he's going to play it. So they shifted everything and started giving us the real push. They went to radio all over the place just because K-Rock is one of those taste-making stations. K-Rock plays it, everybody will play it. And we were off to the races. So they played the song.
So Love Me Dead's getting played all over.
All over. It's where every town we drive into, we're hearing it on the radio.
That's gotta be wild.
That's the coolest thing ever.
There's got to be something pretty neat about pulling into whatever. Yeah.
It's
Cincinnati, and then you turn on the radio, and then boom, there's your song.
I think I told the story last time, but we were driving into LA for a show, and we were listening to K-Rock, and the gal, Kat Corbett, she's still on Sirius XM. She's like, oh, I was Ludo. I just saw them down at South by Southwest. And the keyboard player has some crazy moves and sticks out his tongue a lot. If you ever get the chance to see him, you should see him. And it was the wildest thing.
Did you guys freak out?
Yes. To be in LA listening to K-Rock and hear not only our song, but somebody being like, Ludo's just a thing that we just know. It's just was crazy. So then so that thing comes out in the February of that year. Yeah, and then the big tours. Island is like go go go, like when a major label's like hits the button, so to speak, that throws the building at it, all the resources. So it's all the same people who are working Fall Out Boy and Killers and everything else, and they're flying us around to play. Within a couple of weeks we played the Kentucky Derby, the Final Four. We did the Final Four. It was us, the Roots, and Fall Out Boy. Did it all did it together. Just crazy stuff. We did K-Rock Weenie Roast with The Offspring and just huge, you're just on all these radio festivals all of a sudden with all these huge bands, and we met Pennywise and all just crazy stuff. We did Kentucky Derby, Final Four, and there was another big thing that we did that I can't remember, but they were putting us on all kinds of stuff somewhere in there. So we were on Warped Tour, we're on a tour bus. Sometimes they fly us back because we're going to be on MTV Cribs. None of us has a house. So we did it at the house Andrew grew up in that Matt lived in when we were in town. And that's what we did our episode of MTV Cribs on.
That's cool.
And you're doing the Tonight Show too, right?
Yeah, summer of 2008, we do the Tonight Show. The spring of 2008, we did Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
I joke it was the whitest episode of television ever because the guests on Kimmel that night, it was us, Alex Trebek, and Kelsey Grammer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty white.
Yeah. Pretty nerdy. And
then are you guys playing your own shows in between this?
Oh, yeah.
And those
at that point, so when it's like, oh, it's all happening, we were doing a lot of opening. So you kind of when it things are starting to happen, like you want to get on the road in front of other people's fans with the idea of kind of winning those people over and bringing them back. And you have those spots are coveted, especially in our kind of genre. Like labels are writing checks to get people on tours and stuff. So if we say, we'll have a song at radio, we'll have, we're going to do all these things. The label's spending this much money. Do you want to take them on tour? And they'd be like, yeah. So it became easier to get on some of those bigger things as well.
Was there any particular band that you guys opened for that was really, really cool to you guys?
Yeah. I mean, the whole experience of the Presidents of the United States was incredible because we grew up listening to them, like just loved that band. The unique experience with them too was we opened for a lot of, kind of cool bands and, even kind of emo stuff and whatever. Presidents, whereas we were funny, there was a big humor aspect to what we did. Presidents fans already were ready for that. So typically if we were opening up for somebody, it would take them a few songs to be like, oh, these guys they don't take themselves too seriously and there's jokes going on in here. Yeah. Whereas the Presidents fans were already expecting that. So it was such a wild feeling from like step one to be like, oh, they get it. They immediately get this. It's pretty cool. So
these musicians think they're funny.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Hey man, they're entertaining. I'll tell you, I got to see Ludo a bunch.
I've seen Ludo. It's
I know
a
it
great
sounds
show.
like
it's a great
wild,
show,
man. It's like, yeah, dude, the thing you do with the pageant is.
So was there ever a song that had close to the traction that Love Me Dead did?
Podge Train.
No, not at radio. Our second single, man, for our second single was Go Get Her Greg, which did real well.
That's a funny song.
Didn't do as well. There's another song on the record called Please that maybe we were going to put out that's more of a ballad that is a little bit more serious. We went with Go Get Her Greg and it did well, but it didn't do what Love Me Dead did.
Yeah.
And then, so it was crazy year. Did all that stuff. And then, but it was all taking a toll on all of us quite a bit. I mean, we were just absolutely nonstop. And then our lives were changing. We started, we actually had personal lives for the first time ever. And we were not completely poor and eating peanut butter and jelly any longer.
There's pretty good money coming at this point, right?
No one's getting rich, but it's when you go from no money for so long to even a little bit of money, it's just completely bananas.
You guys do anything like when you got like your first real check, you're like, hey, we're gonna go and get dinner here, buy this thing, upgrade the, get a different guitar.
You're honest.
I guess it's Cheesecake, right?
Yeah, we went to Cheesecake.
Go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
We went to. I remember when we signed our record deal. We went to Ruth Chris here and wore ties. I remember it's when I bought my first Mont Blanc pen. I bought a fancy pen to sign the record deal. But nothing. You're just working so much.
What a tool.
A little bit of money. And then kind of some personal lives.
But talk about that. I mean, because people are curious. Like, you don't have to give us numbers.
Yeah.
But,
I don't remember.
I mean, you had a hit single that's getting radio play.
Yeah.
When people were still buying albums.
Right.
Where's most of the money coming from? Touring? Well, you're not touring on your own stuff really because you're opening for bands.
Correct. So, right. So we were part of the one of the last sort of traditional record label deals. And how that worked was for many, many years, a record label would sign a band and they'd give you money and to go make a record and they would make money off of the sale of that recorded music. So tape, CDs, vinyl, whatever it is, they make that money. Bands typically don't even expect to see any of that. But meanwhile, they're spending a fortune promoting you. So all of a sudden you can sell tickets and go play live. And so that was Our deal changed eventually, and it's all, again, kind of super in the weeds. But at the beginning, that's what it was. So the money that's coming in is from shows. But as you said, we're mostly opening because that's kind of the play. So you continue to build what you can do on the road and then go out and you kind of find that balance between opening and then going out and headlining. But we did a publishing deal somewhere in there. So there was a little bit of something and it was just more you get in advance when you make a record and they're buying you gear and stuff like that. So it was just things were more, it was just more around, if you will. And then where it ended up, deals were called 360 deals, which means a record label, because all of a sudden the recorded music wasn't as valuable with streaming services. So then record labels shifted where they would participate in all your streams of income, 360 degrees. So they would make a part of your t-shirts, your touring, everything that you did. And we shifted to kind of a deal like that in between records when we went back to the other record.
Sean would have negotiated a 390 deal.
For sure.
Yeah.
Quite lucrative, the 390s.
Yeah.
Better believe that.
Nobody gets
that
one of
extra
those.
30 right there, man.
Not a lot of them out there, but it's a good deal if you can get it. So we're working that record forever, and then it was kind of the beginnings of us thinking, maybe just being on different pages about what was sort of next. Our lives had changed in a lot of different ways. It was this, 5-year marathon, which is so funny to me. At the time, it was like, we've been working forever. But now, to look back now at this age and be like, we started that band and 5 years later, we were on the Tonight Show is completely crazy to me.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're just like, oh man, we've been, when are we going to catch a break? You know what
that's
I mean?
part of youth. Yeah,
For sure. So yeah, it was a little bit like, well, we're on different pages about what happens next in terms of our career, our lives, all of that stuff. But things are going so well. There were limousines involved in our lives and tour buses and we were, on private jets for corporate things. Now I'm not saying these things happened a lot. These are all things that happened at one point or another.
Yeah,
like
when you're in your late 20s.
It's the stuff that you picture all of a sudden, where it's people are showing up, they're waiting in line to take pictures with us and all that stuff. And so it was like, this is really, really good. But started being on different pages. In the meantime, the label's kind of like, all right, is it time to make another record? And I think for the sake of us, we were like, oh yeah, we should start writing, because we knew we just weren't all on the same page about continuing to kind of tour as much as we did. So we started writing, and then also started to do some headlining. And then in 2009, we played at the big Bud Light Super Bowl thing, which I always tell that story was the most we've ever been played to play a show. And also the single worst performance that we ever gave. It was none of our crew was there. It was just us with backline, which means like the instruments are just kind of there and you show up and play them. And it was us and Three Doors Down, and the bass went out in the first song, and no one could help. No one could do anything. We just played the show with no bass. And it was also sort of a like, it was just,
Randy played bass.
People weren't ready for us. Randy could have saved it. People weren't. It was just, I remember it was like things were tumultuous with us, and then we went and played this painful show. It was always like, yeah, but we can still get up there and like kind of do what we do. And then
you couldn't.
We had that really painful.
And was this heavy viewership on this episode, on this one?
It wasn't for TV. It was just, there's a ton of people. I mean, it was Super Bowl pre-party.
It was a Super Bowl pre-party, yeah. So
it was Bud Light Super Bowl
Tampa
pre-party.
or what? Yeah, it was like, it was
opening for Three Doors Down?
Yeah, just an absurd amount of people.
Yeah. So in that situation, you can't get help from Three Doors Down crew.
They, I don't remember the exact thing exactly, but yes, they should have. It's a little bit absurd that none of them jumped in and helped. It's not a shot at anybody in the band, but my God, but they could have had their own things going on. So we sort of was like, oh yeah, we're going to kind of work on the next record. And I don't know the timeline completely. We did some headlining in 2009, and then we sort of pulled off the road and, kind of were working on a record, but also kind of trying to get us on the same page about moving this thing forward, because the label was ready. They were so pumped for the next record and new songs. And they, everything we did, they viewed as a success. And we're like, let's take another shot at, kind of this machine. And so I moved to New York at that time and to work with the label, and I was going in regularly to Island Records and trying to set that thing up, but also all the while knowing that like we may not get on the same page and this thing might be kind of over. Anyway, so we started. Lay wanted to make another record. We gave him kind of demos that we had, but we were not on the same. We weren't getting along. Without getting
sure, man.
specifically.
Nah, you don't have to. Yeah, but I get it.
I use this metaphor.
Look at who you're talking to, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, Greg and I. We didn't even agree on the last episode.
Yeah,
That's
man.
That's a lie.
We're just on different pages.
Right. It's the first year of episodes here, and we're starting to become huge. And honestly, I don't know if we're able to stick together with O'Brien and me.
Yeah.
Call Will. Call him up.
Your limo's waiting out there, by the way.
Yeah, enjoy your ride to the airport.
So
Sean's gonna get me right to the airport after this, I think.
Sorry,
see how it
go
goes.
ahead. Interrupt your flow. Go ahead, buddy.
So, man, I don't know. We continued to kind of do something. I mean, it sort of drifted along, and then we went through making another record. You make another record, you get sort of that next advance. The next part of the deal comes through. So it's like, well, we've got to do this, and we kind of go through these motions, thinking, well, we'll figure this out by the time this record comes out. And so we were, everybody was simultaneously like going through those motions and moving forward those things, but also maybe somewhat thinking, what does life after Ludo look like? And that meant something different kind of for all of us. But that was it. So we made this other record, Prepare the Preparations, it was called, which by the time that
Great
record
name.
actually came out, yeah, it's pretty good. By the time, and then Marshall left the band in between those two records. So the four of us, and by the time that record came out, I think the label knew that we weren't sort of the same Ludo. We weren't as gung-ho. There were opportunities that we were turning down. We were not able to tour like we had in the past. So I don't think that they fully get. I mean, we shot a video for it, and they took it to radio, and the single was Whipped Cream, so it didn't have the same success, but we also weren't out there doing things for it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. So it was around for a couple more years, but then the last show we played at that time was 2012, I guess. So we were touring less, but we were still out there because there were still some great offers coming in, and we were still good. Everyone knew how to put on a Ludo show at that point, so we'd get together and do that. And then that was it. Everyone kind of moved on to other things. There was no official like, hey, we have broken up. We just stopped. But our team too. You have management, agent, everyone else was they had grown frustrated with us not being able to commit to. Okay, hey, this is a band that for so long said every single opportunity we're going to take it. We are going to jump it. Don't even call me and ask me if we'll do it. Just send me the tell me what time we need to be there. And that's everything from a show to a press opportunity to whatever. And in some ways that probably cost us. And so then all of a sudden that team is just like, Ludo's the best to work with. This is great. And then all of a sudden they're like, you won't even do, you guys can't even get it together to do X, Y, and Z. So it just kind of unceremoniously people were doing other things, and it was like that couldn't get on the same page about whatever. Yeah. And then that was sort of it. So
man, I would think, and the higher, the amount of people when you're collaborating with 4 band members, 5 band members, plus, you have to be on the same page with what management, record label. And then somebody's got to ultimately make a call. I mean, if you want something one way, whether it's how a song sounds are written, and then Andrew wants it another, or whoever, at the end of the day, someone's got to give. And I would assume that might lead to some frustration.
Yeah, it was
for any band.
Yeah.
That's why it's so amazing that bands are around. Everyone clowns you too. Say what you want. They've been around 48 years.
Totally.
Which is just nuts.
No, those bands that are, it's, the same members, and they've been doing, I can't wrap my head around it. We saw 311 not too long ago, and they've been in it for, I don't know, since like the late 80s, I think.
Wow.
Same members.
Is it?
It's insane. Yeah. And 311 doesn't stop, It's crazy. Or, Metallica, who I know of alternating bass players, but like it's a wild thing. Anyway, So that was kind of it. Moved on, started doing other things. I personally was living in New York still, started managing other artists, and then I developed our Ludo had started Redbird Records when we put out those first few records and started developing that. And I got a distribution deal and was putting out other people's records and producing things and just kind of in the music business and miserable and that kind of started doing like improv in New York and was doing UCB sketch writing or whatever. And then, shortly after met Nikki and turned into me trying comedy for the first time and that kind of path started. And then radio and I bounced back into television here and there, did more stuff for MTV actually. And that was it. So then sort of we started the life that you guys know and when I met you guys and then, I think we always thought Ludo will come back at some point for something, but who knows when, and it just never worked, and we tried it, never worked, and it never worked, and then in 2018, everybody was like, let's do it. I give all the credit to my guy, Bert McClymans, who works over at the pageant. He never gave up. Every several months would say, let's do a Ludo show, let's do a Ludo show. Never gave up, and then, we finally did, and it was in 2018. We were like, it's Halloween, we'll do Halludoween, which is a thing we used to do back in the day. And we did it, and I, people always make fun of me when I say this, but it is the honest to God truth. I did not know how many tickets we would sell. I did not know what that show was going to look like. I did not know who cared. I knew that there wasn't going to be 0 people there, but I didn't think that we would sell it out. So we put it on sale, and it sells out in a few minutes. We put immediately added another show. It sells out in a few minutes.
That's awesome.
We did 3 shows, and then it's been.
So that had to make you feel good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, those shows in 2018 reuniting was so great, but the best part was getting in the basement. We were in Jeremy Essig's basement is where we rehearsed those first times, and that was just wild to be in that room with those guys again and counting off that first song, and it was just
wow,
just a wild feeling. It even every year now when we get together, it still is like wow, this is crazy,
Yeah.
But that year in particular was just a wild thing. So, and then we've done it annually since then, and people continue to come on. It's always been 3 shows. We've done a few things here and there. We started making music again. It's all very, part time for everyone. We all have our lives, but we can get enough on the same page to do these shows and to even record music. So we've put out 3 or 4 songs, I think, in this whole Ludo 2.0.
Yeah, what's the Halloween song? The new one, "Scare Me."
"Scare Me" was the first new song that we put out.
I love that song.
Yeah,
and I've gotten to be a real fan of Ludo, which may not be so good for you guys, in that my music taste is very questionable.
Yeah,
but it's just great, man. I mean, I feel bad this year because I'm out on the road. I can't go to Halloween, right. But
we talked about moving it, but ultimately decided not to.
Yeah, no, it's really a fun time, and man, is it's different. The audience is very involved.
Yeah,
and the audience is a part of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
they know every word to every song, and they. You guys let them drop in on a lot of stuff, and it's almost like a play in some cases.
We're really, really lucky. We haven't I've touched on a bunch of different things, but maybe a little more business heavy. But part of what I think makes our band so special for us, for the people involved, and even to outsiders, is just the community that has been sort of created around Ludo, and it's a special part of it at the shows, and even big online communities, and people really sort of find something in the music, and it's a pretty special thing. So. Yeah, it's back. We put out a few songs. We went and we played Chicago a few years ago. We did Ludo Night at the Ballpark. We got to do
Ludo Night at the
Point
Ballpark
Fest.
was one of my favorites.
It was awesome.
It was so great. It was like about 7 or 8 songs.
Yeah,
and I was there with your father-in-law. It was just such a great show.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it was maybe when I really started appreciating the band. And Andrew threw the first pitch out.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, it was that was a really cool show, man.
Yeah, it is.
The amazing T-shirt, which I lost. It's right there, the Pterodactyls T-shirt. Yeah.
Those are hard to come by. Yeah, I think it's funny. I mean, that's the biggest thing between the last time we talked about this and now is just that it's back, and it's so sort of, I don't know. It's such a good feeling for me because it was such a large part of my life. It's the most I've ever put into anything in my entire life. And it ended maybe not exactly on terms that I would have liked, but to be able to, especially at this age when I appreciate things so much more.
Man.
To do that again and that, there is something special, between the four of us still that we get to still be a part of and still also have our other lives. I mean, I've gone back now and thought, had we kept going, maybe, I never would have started stand-up comedy. I never would have had all the things that I did, kind of appreciating that maybe it stopped when it did and that it's back now. Like, I think that's I'm very, very grateful for that. I probably talked about this last time too, but, that whole Ludo process, everything, I don't know that I enjoyed it as much as I should have at the time. You're young and you're always worried about the next thing. And I say this all the time, but, we were on Fuse and I didn't enjoy it because I wanted to be on MTV. We're on MTV. I didn't enjoy it because I wanted to do a late night show. We were on Kimmel. I didn't enjoy it because I wanted to be on Leno because I wanted to be on SNL, and we never got there. Never got to do SNL. Never got to do those things. But in the meantime, I didn't enjoy being on the Tonight Show and all that.
Man,
so,
God, can I relate to that? I mean, I've had a few high points in the career or whatever, and it's just been a long journey with comedy. But I know there were some places where I was like, I'm just constantly thinking about the next time. And then the last few years have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because of several things, Nate being the biggest one.
Yeah.
Nate, and just
Sean,
Nate's
me.
audience. I would say Randy.
Randy.
Yeah. I don't know about you and Sean, but
That makes sense.
no, but I have like, that comedy club in Madison that we played.
Yeah.
I think I played there 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then I haven't played there. And it's not, it's just, I probably shouldn't have. Every comedian in the world wants to play there.
Yeah.
They skew a little bit differently, but we got to play there.
Yeah.
And I had the time of my life, man. I had a blast. And I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this, man.
Yeah.
We had a ton of coterie people out, a ton of fans out. And those were awesome shows. And I was like, I am going to enjoy this, and I hope we'll be back next year.
Yeah.
We'll be back whenever, but maybe but it was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's something I'm very, very aware of with comedy, is to enjoy all of those things, because I didn't. It's part of, it's part of having those opportunities and losing it, losing that for so long. And also I think just being older, but it's like, even the little things with comedy when I started out, like it wasn't lost on me how awesome that stuff was. Especially like I was very unhappy for a long time, post Ludo, before I started doing stand up, honestly.
Yeah, we don't have to get deep into it, but that was a rough time for you.
Yeah.
Because you that went away.
Yeah.
And I think you tried a couple of projects that you put everything into, with the managing bands and doing a project with you and Tim, and it just didn't quite it didn't go where you wanted to go. And you think, well, I'll just replicate what we did with Ludo.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But you glossed over it a little bit, because I want to make sure, because I think it's a neat story, is that your brother Chris started, he produced Nikki's MTV show.
Yeah, so he was Chris was working at, I got an internship and worked there, then got him an internship, and he is remained in television. So he was hired on an MTV show because he was mostly doing work with MTV, and he's like, oh, it's this comedy show, and I think this girl's from St. Louis, and it's called Nikki and Sarah Live. And so the girl from St. Louis was Nikki, who grew up blocks away from us, but they met in New York because he got hired on this television show. And they hit it off and started dating, and this is many, many years ago, and still are, with some breaks in there.
Yeah.
And so we started hanging out because Chris was dating her, and I was going through a rough time, and I would come home from like dates and talk to Nikki about the dates I went on and make her laugh, and she's like, you should do stand-up comedy. Like that. She's like, that's a stand-up bit. You should do stand-up. And so I got it in my head, and then yeah, I ended up, when I had an opportunity and came back to St. Louis finally without any idea of like what I was even going to do, started doing stand up just to do it. And I was like, oh, this is it. So I think so much of like just what comedy is kind of, part of it was for so long in my life, I was on stage almost every single night, and I love doing that. And there's a feeling that comes with that had been removed. So I think it was like, I miss Ludo and my dreams didn't work and blah, 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 blah. But it was also simply that, what do you call that? Endorphins of doing that. So stand up got me that for one. And it was kind of exactly what I needed to be, non-collaborative after all of that to do. And I know my other guys have had similar feelings in projects of theirs to be like, you're not running anything by people a million times. It's sort of here's the thing that I wanted. Like it was just so exactly what I needed.
Stand-up's beautiful like that.
Yeah.
I have an idea today. I can put it on stage tonight.
Yes. You don't have to run it by anybody. Feedback. You don't have to go, oh, how am I going to pitch this to this guy? Or how am I, so whatever. And it makes me, when we do Ludo things now, it's like I'm so fulfilled in this other part, and it checks all these boxes that I'm a less selfish collaborator with them.
And then it's kind of cool because I just got to be out on the road with you, and I've encouraged you to do this a little bit. But Tim, I'm sure all of you watched his special, but he's starting to incorporate music into his stand-up, and Kevin Bowers is with him, and it's just a small sample what you saw in the special, but I saw him this weekend, and for the first time I was like, oh, this is really, really awesome what they're doing. Like I was supportive right away.
Yeah.
I encouraged you to do it.
Yeah,
I said come out, because he talked about it for a while.
Yeah, and
I was like, hey man, we're in Des Moines in 6 weeks. You need to just do it and get Kevin. And we did it. But man, they're turning the corner, and I don't even know if you've seen all this stuff, man, but they're doing some pretty layered stuff that I don't know. And I'm not a music guy, but I was like, man, there's something really, really cool about it. But so the two are starting to merge right now, and
it's wild.
I can't wait for people to see it. I can't wait to see where you guys go with it. Cause I mean, we just, for the last 2 days, I wake up and, some of your songs, music has a way of doing that, but I'm thinking, your songs, not what I heard on the radio.
Right.
And it's,
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's fun. It's starting that was incredibly intimidating. Starting comedy was incredibly intimidating after sort of Ludo stuff, and especially those early days of people coming up and being like, "Aren't you in Ludo?" and me, knowing how bad I was. So then now to be doing, the music thing is a lot, but it's been really fun, and it's like, yeah, this makes sense. I think I wasn't involved in music very intentionally for so long after that, where it was like, oh, this is completely my thing. And now I've got several other projects and all that, and I feel very grateful for it. But yeah, the stuff Kevin and I are doing is fun, and it feels very natural, and yeah, people seem to like it so far.
It's really cool. I'm going to call it.
Great.
Normally we do comments at the end of the episode, but for some reason it doesn't feel right on this episode. It's gone a little bit long. It should have gone long. It's a really cool story.
Yeah. That was a very salubrious episode.
C or S?
I think I got it wrong.
Salubrious.
He's going to come in at the end with it.
Hey, no. Don't start. You're giving me the business about not participating in the word. I had to cram it in. I had no choice. That was my only move there, and it doesn't matter. It's out of context.
Spell it.
Salubrious.
Salubrious.
Yeah. I was trying to say it was like a healthy dose of information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to cram it in, guys.
Not exactly.
No, I know. I'm telling you, it's not right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's me just throwing it out there. I can't bat 1,000, guys.
Yeah. You could say it was a salubrious conversation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll tell you.
He gets mad that I don't use the word.
I'm mad.
Then I do the word, and I still catch heat. I can't win.
I love it, buddy. I'm happy you did it.
I love the episode, mostly because
I love
Sean
it too.
wasn't talking.
It's Tim's floor.
No, I'm glad you brought it in.
Thank you.
I'm going to call it. Normally, on the podcast, we do comments at this point. And we will always do comments, but I don't feel like it's right. I think that was really cool. I'm glad we got to do it. What I'm going to say is go see Ludo.
Oh, yeah.
It's at the Pageant in St. Louis. People come from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And the dates are?
October 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Go see Ludo. I really enjoyed hearing about that. I always enjoy hearing those kind of stories,
Thanks,
especially
man.
when it's my friend Tim Convey. We are the consumers. You have the right to charge your phone.